Hey, what's up, everybody? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us for more Third and Long content. Welcome to another episode of Third and Long. Really excited about today. Another special guest. Former teammate of mine for 6 years. One of the best running backs in the NFL. Also, too, has his own pod, Relentlessly Motivated, which is amazing watch. You guys should definitely check it out. My special guest today is Raheem Mostert.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm great, brother. Can't complain. I'm blessed, man. I'm happy that I'm in your presence. It's
man, it's definitely good to see you. We're out here in beautiful Miami.
Yes.
You've been out here for a few years now. Appreciate you coming on the show, taking some time, man. It's definitely good to see you and be around you after, being teammates for so long, and one of the best teammates I had.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of conversations throughout the years, and to see where you're at now, man, definitely proud of you. It's great to see you, man.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I could definitely say the same. It's unbelievable how we were, so young and didn't have kids, right? Now we got full-on families, and it's just a blessing, man, to know each other. I feel like that's a key part in being in the locker room. It's building those relationships, and I feel like our relationship is definitely a strong one.
Yeah, that's some, what I'm gonna remember the most about, my NFL experience is, my teammates and people like you, having special people in your life, and going through these situations with people, and, adversity and different things that, make you close, and that bond is gonna be there, forever. So with our show, we talk a lot of football, but also, I want people to understand who we are as people, and our background and where we come from, and the reason we are where we are today. And so, you're from Daytona,
yes,
Florida. So tell us a little bit about growing up in Daytona and what that was like.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Daytona. When you think about Daytona, it's a spring break destination for people back in the 80s and 90s. And me born in the 90s, it was I didn't get to experience all that, of course, because I was a baby. But it's also about Bike Week and the Daytona 500. You have all these festivities, and it's pretty cool, man. You see a lot of different people. They come out from all over the world, all over the country, to go to these many different monuments of activities. And I was fortunate enough to see that and witness that. And then I moved early on. I moved to New Smyrna Beach, which is 15 minutes south of Daytona. My parents wanted to be closer to their parents, and so I grew up literally in a small beach town, a small surf town. So being in Florida, you always hear about the beach side and sand, and I was really that. I was really a beach bum at heart. So still am to this day, man.
So you would hit the beach every day, chill on the beach?
Every day.
Your friends, everybody used to just hang out on the beach?
Yeah, so one thing that we did was after school, for us to hang out, we all would just go to the beach side. Our high school is a little more inland, but we would go to the beach side and hang out and, go to Flagler Avenue. That's one of the main streets, and hang out and, just see people from out of town. We used to call them out-of-towners, and see out-of-towners come in and act a fool of themselves. And we're like, look, you guys aren't locals, and try to start a little trouble here and there. But it was all fun, man. It was all cool.
Nah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So growing up there, played multiple sports.
Yeah.
Also, too, a unique sport that a lot of people probably haven't done is surfing.
Yeah.
So what sports did you play? When did you get into sports, and what was your favorite sport growing up? Were you more into football, or were you loving surfing?
Yeah, no, I was so I first started out playing football when I was 7, organized football, Pop Warner. I was able to make a team and play from 7 till now, right? I haven't missed a single year of football since I started. And then I would say about maybe sophomore year in high school, that's when I started picking up, many different sports. Weightlifting was one of them. That's actually a real competition down in Florida. Like, you're going to see there's competition for weightlifting down here. So I did weightlifting. It helped because I had my high school coach, weightlifting coach, actually won gold in the Olympics. So he helped me translate, a lot of techniques that I use today off of weightlifting and lifting weights and being in the gym. He taught me a lot of those techniques. So I did that, and then skateboarding and surfing was like, kind of like a hobby. It wasn't necessarily competition, Me and my boys, like I said, we would go to beachside and ride our skateboards, and then once we were done, hit the water and go surfing. And so that started getting a little bit more competitive, and I would watch, different surf competitions, huge organizations like Billabong, Quicksilver, Quiet Flight, all these major companies, Red Dog, they would all come and host events on our beaches for local talents. And it was pretty cool, man. It was good to see those things. I knew about Kelly Slater before I even got the chance to talk to him and meet him, man. And he's a local guy. He's from Cocoa Beach, which is about like 40 minutes south of where I'm from. And about guys like that. Like, one of my best friends was Evan Geiselman. He's a pro surfer. Him and his dad and his older brother, they would always be in those surf competitions. So I would watch him and ask him how to, shred a wave, how to, cut backside, and all the lingo about surfing. It's pretty cool, man. It is.
That's dope. My only experience being in Northern California, there were some surfers in SoCal, but like my only experience with like beach kind of like surfing was like Johnny Tsunami, like the Disney movie, like growing up. That was like the only thing I knew about like surfing was like watching that. So like you growing up in that and like hitting the beach every day, it's like a whole different like environment from like what I grew up in. So it's like super dope and like interesting.
Yeah, no, it was I swear it's a lot of fun, man. I feel like the beach now is like my calling, right? Everybody has their specific like environmental calling, I feel like, and I feel like that's who I am. I love the beach. I love everything about it. I do everything that I possibly can to help like do beach cleanups and everything like that. I'm a part of Ocean Conservancy, which is like major and trying to keep the ocean safe and keep all the habitats and everything like that intact. So I'm a big advocate of that stuff, and like I said, I grew up, just going to the beach side constantly and hanging out. So
that's dope. I heard people who live close to a beach and next to the beach have a higher life expectancy too. And so there's something about living next to the beach that is good for your life. You know,
it's the salt water.
Yeah.
It's the salt water.
Being in the water, but also, just the vibes. Like I feel like, beach people or people who grow up, around the beach or on the beach are just like, they're a little more happier, a little more
relaxed, chill.
A little more relaxed, a little more chill. And so there's definitely something like to that.
Yeah. No, I would definitely say that. Everybody that I know that grew up on the beach side, we're all like, we all talk a different language and everything. What's up, bro? How you doing? Like that's just how the lingo goes. And also like we're all just chill. We just vibe. We let everything go with the flow. We don't get overwhelmed all that much. That's kind of how my personality is.
No, that's awesome. So when you start getting like serious about football and like seeing like a career in that, and then also too like when did like track come into play for you?
Yeah. So So when I started playing football at the age of 7, I felt like football at that moment was just a part of my life, right? I would use football as a getaway from the stuff I was dealing with in my house, right? I was dealing with a lot of different things like domestic violence, alcoholism, all kinds of things, abuse, and I just felt like football was that outing for me. It was that way of, just getting away from reality and what I was dealing with. So I focused my attention so much on it at an early age that when, I didn't even really understand about scholarships and, getting offers until my sophomore, junior year when I started getting those things coming in, and I'm like, oh, this, you can actually, you know, make another pathway, because people that came from where I came from, like there's only about like 2 other people that I can name off the top of my head that succeeded, you know, past high school with football. Dallas Baker, he went to Florida. Dallas Baker, touchdown maker. He was a receiver, and he played for Urban Meyer in Florida. You know that documentary that came out on Netflix?
Yeah, with Florida?
Yeah, he was a part of that. Like
Okay.
he's in that documentary talking about the Florida times and everything. So it was cool to see him do that. And then Wes Chandler, that's an old school receiver. He played for the Chargers, and those are pretty much the 2 guys that made it out football wise. And I felt like once I started learning about, you know, the offers and scholarships and the visits and recruiting, I knew that was my way out of, you know, like I said, what I was dealing with back at home. And so I wanted to be the first person in my family to graduate. I felt like that, you know, graduation from a major university, I felt like that was success. I felt like that's the way you want to live your life, right? Is to be successful and get out of the slums, or get out of whatever situation you're in that's holding you back as a person. And yeah, I use that as motivation. So every time, you know, my boys, I have friends that, you know, they went off the grid a little bit. They could have exceeded just like I did, you know, in football and many other sports, basketball and everything, but they didn't take it as serious as I did when I was in high school. And so I felt like that's what helped jumpstart my career early on at an early age.
No, that's awesome, man. And I think for a lot of football players, like football has been our outlet, our pathway, you know, to escape a lot of things and create a life, you know, for us. You know, we wouldn't be sitting right here if it wasn't for football. We wouldn't be, you know, have been able to create so many, you know, things for our family and you know, live the life that we live if it wasn't for football. So, football is definitely a special thing. It teaches you a lot and allows people to, you know, escape. You know, sometimes escape like reality and able to just like put all your, you know, everything into football, and it could be life-changing for you. So
yeah, no, it definitely can. And you know, for the listeners out there, I feel like, you know, you should always attack your dreams, right? And our dreams were football. Our dreams were to make it to the next level, and be successful, be a person that, you know, younger kids can look at and be like, hey, you know, Arik Armstead is an unbelievable guy. Like off the field, he does so many wonderful things. Like your book projects and everything that you do, reading books to the kids at school. Like I'm like, man, how can I be a part of that? Like I would love to, like, you know, do something. I started my own foundation because of guys like you know. So it's always about giving back, I feel like, and you know, taking that leap and that jump so that way other people out there in the world can see that we're not just football players. We're also guys that are family man. We're guys that are, you know, successful businessmen that want to go out there and achieve at the highest of highs. Because once football's over with, there is no more football. You know, it's like now you got to move and pivot on to another aspect of your life. And if you start that early on, I feel like that'll carry over, you know, once you're done playing the game.
Yeah, no, that's definitely huge to have, you know, other things, you know, put everything, you know, we always put everything into football, and it's like the, you know, important for our life, but it's also important to find interest in other things and you know, have a little bit of that balance as well too. And so, like you said, once it's all said and done, you're just not like, dang, what do I do now? Like you know, use football to create some other avenues and pathways for yourself. So, you know, you were a 3-star recruit in high school.
I was.
Recruiting wise, how'd you go from Daytona to all the way to Purdue?
Yeah.
Purdue's in Indiana, right?
Indiana, yeah.
Okay, yeah. How'd you end up at Purdue?
So funny story. I had a teammate. You might know him if I tell you. Ricardo Allen.
Yeah.
So
cornerback, right?
Corner, yeah. So me and him were rival. We went to rival high schools
in Florida.
So he played at Mainland High School, and that's in Daytona. And me being in New Smyrna, we would see them every year, and we would be battling back and forth. I played receiver at the time, so me and him was battling back and forth. And he got a visit to Purdue, and he fell in love with the place.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 1 year ahead of me. And so when I was coming out, I got an offer from Purdue, and I took my visit. He was my host, and the whole entire football team was basically from Florida. Like
Really?
there's a picture of all of us. I gotta send it to you. There's a picture of all of us, and it's like at least 25 guys on the team that are from Florida.
So
even the head coach.
They had a recruiting pipeline.
Yeah, it was the recruiting pipeline was everybody was from Florida. So like that's the reason why I kind of went. It was because of Ricardo, but it was also because I knew that Purdue was a good fit for me, right? I knew that I can get a good education. Purdue is, is in the upper tier of educational, backgrounds. And so I wanted to be a business. I wanted to own my own business someday. So I went in with a business management degree. And I got that, right? And they have one of the best like business, schools in the world. And so that's also the reason why I went. I didn't want to shortchange myself. I felt like if I was gonna really do this and educate myself and learn and understand how to be a businessman, then I'm gonna go to one of the best schools, that's out there. And I felt like Purdue was that for me. And then of course football. Purdue, when you look at Purdue, like right now, Purdue's in the March Madness. They're in the Sweet 16 now. Basketball. It's all basketball school. Like everything basketball. If you play basketball at Purdue, you're pretty much like a walking legend. And you didn't even play any minutes yet. So going to Purdue football wise was kind of like a different experience. I didn't really get the exposure that I felt like I should have gotten when I was there. And so that's also the reason why I ran track. Going back in high school, I ran track as well. I started my junior year. I was really good at it, but it was like, I'm just out here because, it's another way for me to get, a different, I got offers, I got offers from Florida State. They wanted me. They were huge in track. And so I just felt like that wasn't the move for me. I wanted something better in regards to, education. I felt like Purdue was that for me. So it was a culture shock for sure. I remember the first time I went out there, it was I had to ask what to wear. Like I didn't being a Florida guy, I'm used to wearing shorts all day and and not having to worry about putting on jeans and a jean jacket, like or put on a pea coat. I didn't even know anything about a pea coat
until my attire.
Yeah, like I didn't know what to wear. So the first thing I did, I went to Target and got a pea coat. I felt like that was the best thing I could possibly get, and it kept me warm. I kept it for like 3-4 years. But yeah, I mean, I met my wife. She's from Cleveland, so she knew about it. She
understood the cold.
Man, She was like, "Why would you get a pea coat? There's so many other options out there that you can get." I'm like, I'm from Florida. Like, I don't know what else to get.
Yeah. So you go to Purdue, definitely a bit of an adjustment, but you have some success. In football and track.
Yeah.
When did you, like, you say you started track junior year? Like, when did you realize, like, oh no, like I'm really fast?
So I started track. So okay, let me give it a breakdown. If you're in the state of Florida, right? Florida is known for speed. Like everybody is fast. Like there was guys that I felt like were faster than me, but like they were also older, so I can give them you know that little leeway, right? And growing up, you're like, okay, everybody's pretty fast, but then when you go to like Indiana, you go to Big Ten. Big Ten ball is nothing but like corn fed, like O-line, D-line guys.
9-on-7.
9-on-7, like, it's not like 7-on-7.
Three tight end sets.
Yeah, like it's like Wisconsin power backs.
Football.
You know what I mean? So like going to Purdue, I felt like I had an advantage. Like I could use my speed. I'm a receiver. I could use my speed and get away. I can run jet sweeps. I could do, pretty much all that kind of stuff. And that's what I was doing. So, and it was good. And then I had a coaching change like my junior year in college. And then that's when I was like, you know what? I ran track my freshman year. I made it to the Big Ten finals. I came in like 4th as a freshman. I felt like that was, it was pretty good. And then I tear my PCL my sophomore year. So I missed that year of track. Then I come back the following year. That's when we had a coaching change at the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year. coach wasn't really like rocking with me like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I was like, all right, well, screw you. I'm just go and run track and keep my mind busy on that. And then I ended up winning, Big Ten championship, going to the national championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico for indoor, and then Eugene for outdoor.
Yeah.
So got to experience that whole thing. And I'm like, all right, well, what are we gonna do with football? And it so happened the coach was like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Like, you're the number one starting running back. After I just changed my position to running back.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't really messing with me at receiver. So the football experience wasn't all gravy. I started the first couple of games and then I got benched. And then my senior year, it was just up and down. Like, I think I had about like 400 yards my senior year as a running back. And going into the draft is like, oh, well, I know I'm not getting drafted, but, there's still some interest from other teams. And next thing you know, I get picked up by the Eagles, and they're like, well, let's start the journey. So
Well, one thing I think is interesting about your career is how special teams have played a role.
Yeah.
And in college, you were the true definition of a return specialist.
Yeah.
You set a school record. You averaged 33.5 yards a return.
Yeah.
And in a single game, you had 206 return yards on 5 returns.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah. And that also is like, our team was bad. If we getting the ball kicked off to us, that means.
But 200 yards just off returns is crazy in the game.
Yeah. No, it was, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being a returner. I felt like, that was, in high school, I had like, 12 kickoff returns for touchdowns, like my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So like I felt like that was my niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a good receiver, but I was an even better special teams kickoff returner guy.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it later, but that definitely became like your niche.
Yeah,
early in your career in the NFL as well too, and gave you an opportunity. You're definitely thinking about, you doing track and football. At my time in Oregon, there was a few guys who did that.
Yeah.
And, a few names come to mind. You're definitely, being your teammate for so long. There was one guy that I played with before you that I felt like was the fastest player that I played with, and that's DeAnthony Thomas.
Yeah.
And he ran track and played football at Oregon too. And then after that, it was you.
Yeah. You're
like the fastest teammate that I've ever had. So it was DeAnthony, then it was you. And I just remember being your teammate and seeing you move at like a different speed and in a smooth way too. It was like an effortless.
Yeah.
So that track background and everything that you've accomplished has definitely took a notice, and I think kind of started your first opportunity in NFL.
Yeah.
And then talking about you went undrafted to the Eagles, and so you were on 4 teams.
My rookie year.
Your rookie year in 2015.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Talk about entering the league, and I think that's like dang near unheard of, being on 4 teams in 1 year.
Yeah. No, it was honestly it was a blessing in disguise. I look at it now. I felt like at the time, like I knew that I was made for the league, but I just felt like nobody really believed in me. But it came full circle my second year. So I started with the Eagles, then I was with Dolphins for about like 3.5, 4 weeks. And then the head coach got fired. And so Dan Campbell was the interim coach. And once he got the interim coach job, it was like he was trying to clean house. So I got released, got cut. And then Baltimore picked me up. I was with them for about like 3 months of that season. And then I get cut by them, and then the Browns picked me up, and I finished the rest of the season with the Browns. But it was like through all those cuts and talking with the coaches, I got to give kudos to Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles really helped me when I first landed in the league. what it means to be a pro, but also what it means to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There was one specific, workshop that we did. So you was with Chip Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Chip Kelly likes his like workshops and,
Mm-hmm.
doing team bonding things and trying to, break the I guess you could say the standard of being an original team, right? He wants
Mm-hmm.
to do something that makes the camaraderie
Out of the
pop out even
box
more, right?
and bring people together.
So he had a mental coach come from Australia down to the Eagles, and we did workshops with him for about 2.5, 3 weeks. So like every day was something different, right? It was a presentation, but it was also like group activities. And so never forget, one of the main activities that, I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life was an activity that I had to be partners with Darren Sproles. And the activity that we had to do was, okay, name 3 things that people say that's good about you. And then name 3 things that people say that's bad about you, right? And then what I want you to do is react to those bad things in a way that makes you feel like you basically have to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And so Darren Sproles gets up. After me and him talk, right? He gets up. He's like, all right, 3 good things. I'm shifty. I've been in the league for quite some time. And some other thing was like, I got good hands as a running back. And I'm a good special teams guy. And then 3 things that were bad were he's short. He can't play this game. This is things that people are also telling him that have told him these things.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's short, he can't play this game, and he's not gonna play it long enough. And so one of his rebuttals to him being short was, well, yeah, you say I'm short, but I'm in year 10. And then he's like, well, you're not gonna play long. Well, I got the heart of a lion. So
Mm-hmm.
like all these things that he was saying, I was actually listening to, and I'm like, this man literally is like 5 whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he's made an unbelievable like career, just off of pure determination of what he wants to be as a player. Like he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. He wants to chase the rings. He wants everything that he possibly can. And mind you, this guy is literally like the shortest guy in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So once that workshop happened, I'm like, if he can do it, I mean, why can't I? Like I feel like I'm made for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that workshop right there just helped carry. I saw him literally 2 years ago in Arizona when the Super Bowl was happening, and it was the first time in many years that I saw him. Man, I gave the dude the biggest hug in the world, and I said thank you, just because he helped me out, get to the position I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Just off mentality wise, like you're gonna tell somebody that they can't play just because of their stature, or they have some limitations. No, I mean, you can break the mold just solely believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And he helped me do that, the first year. I was getting cut by all those teams, and even in my second year, and when I landed with the Niners, it was like finally, it was full circle because Chip was with the Eagles. He got fired,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to the Niners that following year.
Mm-hmm.
He called me up. I met him in Orlando. They just got done playing Miami. And that's when, oh man, who was the running back? Y'all had a running back. He was walking
With the
out
Niners?
the door. Yeah, he was walking
Carlos
out the door.
Hyde?
Nah, it was he played for Florida. I can't
Oh, you're
remember.
talking about Taylor.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So he was walking out as I was walking in to come meet up with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was full circle, bro. I met y'all at UCL.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then y'all went to go. We were playing. Y'all just got done playing Miami.
Yeah.
And y'all were staying on the East Coast to go play the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's wild.
Yeah.
My time, being your teammate and seeing you early in your career when you got to the Niners, you were a special teams demon.
Yeah.
And what you just spoke about in terms of finding a way, the determination, never taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
Knocking every door down, and if it still doesn't work, find another door to knock down. I seen that on the daily from you, and you became a leader on our team, and someone that everybody gravitated towards and can follow because of how you carried yourself and what you did on the field. Straight dog, like, making countless plays, and the mentality that you played with was like refusing to be denied. And watching you cover kicks and gunner on punt was like one of the best things that I think like people take for granted, like special teams, but some of those plays, I'm like, dang, like I could not do that. Like these dudes are different. Special teams dudes are like different, bro. Like, and I'm like, I know myself. I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't got what it takes to go out there and do what these dudes do at this high of a level. And so, I think you were, one of the best special teamers in the league.
I appreciate that, bro.
And you didn't take no for an answer, and you found a way until you got your opportunity at running back. And even, once you finally got that op, you still had to seize it. So, I heard a story, on your podcast talking about finally getting that opportunity and having to take that opportunity as well too. It wasn't given to you. You had to have a conversation and with Kyle to finally start getting some reps. And
so that conversation that you're talking about, it was, I forget who we were playing, but I had put the ball on the ground, and like I was really like, because me, like I feel like in my situation, like everything had to be perfect. Everything had to align perfectly. Like my mindset had to be perfect. If I was going to go out there and play the game, I couldn't mess up. If I did, I felt like, it might have been over with for me just because like what I've gone through, early on in my career. So that year, when I had to speak to Kyle, one-on-one, it was like the game before, and I put the ball on the ground, and he took me out the rest of the game. I went back to playing special teams. He didn't see me at running back. And the conversation we had the next day, he thought I was just, happy-go-lucky to be in the building. I'm like, I mean, I am. This is a great opportunity for like guys, thousands, millions of guys before me that never get to see, what it's like to be in this office, what it's like to have a conversation with a head football coach of an NFL team, to, meet teammates that are at the same caliber, if not greater than, yourself, or anything like that. To play in front of thousands of fans, all across the country. And so he thought I was just moping around and putting a smile on everybody's faces and, having a smile on my face and thinking everything was kosher, right? And I'm like, no, Kyle, like I really want to be great. Like it's not, I put a smile on my face because I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy where I'm grounded. Like I'm truly, in a position where not too many guys have ever been in. And don't take that as a weakness. Like, don't take my smile as, I'm just happy. I just want to be here. I'm thankful that, the cooks are doing a great job in the kitchen. Like, the food is unbelievable. My locker is nice. I love my locker mates. I love everybody in the building. The equipment guys are all unbelievable. Yeah. Training, everybody. Like, I like people around me, but it's also like I want to be great. So like I'm not getting those opportunities in practice. I feel like all I'm getting are fake 18s, fake 19s, fake 14s, fake 15s, and that's it. Like I'm blocking. I'm not getting the exposure I need to get ready for a game. And he was like, oh, well, I will say that's one thing that Kyle did was like he changed it the next day. It's like he talked to the offensive coaching staff and he talked to my position coach. Was like, hey, no, we need to get this guy more opportunities. He can't just be going out here running fakes and then we expect him to go into the game, and tote the ball, and he hasn't even toted the ball in practice, the past 3 days. And it changed from that point on. And I felt like, learning from Darren, never look back and take your opportunities and run with it, because those opportunities are limited. If you're in the league, you only get so many. You only get so many opportunities. Don't look back. So that was the same approach I had on special teams. Like Yeah, I love special teams. I'm always gonna be grateful for special teams. Hell, I might even be a special teams coach someday. That's
For real.
I feel like I can do it, but
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't want to look back and be like, oh, what could have been. Like that's the biggest regret I would ever have is like looking back and being like, well, what if? Like, what if I didn't have a good attitude? What if I, burned that bridge with Chip Kelly? I could. When Chip cut me, I was because he was a GM in the Eagles. When he cut me, I was literally the last cut on the team. I'm a rookie. Like, I'm the last cut. There was guys, Najee Good. He was a linebacker. He was like year 3. I thought he did a heck of a job, in the preseason. They cut him.
Yeah.
And there's a dude named Copeland. That was my guy. They cut him too. And I was like,
you did a heck of a job in the preseason too. You led. You led in all-purpose yards. In the preseason in ball too. So I know you made it a tough decision on it.
So when I was in the office with Chip, he was like, "Hey, Raheem, I feel bad, having to let you go. It's not what I want." But I just started crying, bro, because I'm like, "Thank you for the opportunity." Like it was more so like he saw it in me. Like he knew that I can do it, but he was in a tough position because he needed Kenyon Barner. Like that was his guy. Y'all were at Oregon together, and he had that relationship with him. He was just off of Carolina. They cut him, and then he picked him up, and I helped KB out with the returns that he scored a touchdown in the preseason in. So it was a tough decision, but I look back, I could have easily been like, you know what, coach, you're making a worse decision in your life. Like I'm better than that guy. I could have burnt that bridge. I probably wouldn't be here to this day if it wasn't for him.
Because he brought you back on the Niners.
He brought me back on the Niners. I met y'all in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So it's like full circle. And that's one thing I want to tell people is like, don't ever burn the bridge, because if you burn that bridge, that same person might call you and be like, hey, I'm your boss now. I'm gonna make your life, a little bit miserable than what it was before. You never know. You can cross that same path with somebody, and it could be either good or bad depending on how you left it.
So you had to grind for years and years. To get one of the biggest opportunities of your life. NFC Championship game, 2020. We playing Green Bay Packers. You're on special teams still.
Yeah.
You're
I wasn't even the starting running back.
you weren't even the starting running back on special teams. You're beginning the game, gunner, running down, making tackles.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that you would set a record in the NFC Championship, 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards rushing, put us on your back and willed us to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that would happen after all these years of everything you had gone through in your career to have the opportunity, and you take advantage of the opportunity?
Yeah. Nah, I'm just so thankful for that game. I feel like that game really helped me, catapult my career, and showing people that, he's not just a special teams guy. He actually can play running back, and I just felt like that game, Tevin got hurt early on, and then I don't know where the other guys were at, but Bobby T called me and he was like, go in. I'm like, okay. So the first handoff I got after Tevin, went down with an elbow injury, I scored the touchdown. I'm like, okay, well, here we go, and I just didn't look back at the opportunity, bro. I just kept pushing, and it just happened to play in my favor. It was good. It was fun, man. I mean, that year was fun too, though.
It was a fun
Defense was going crazy. Y'all was going crazy. It felt like sacks left and right between y'all.
Yeah,
and dealing with y'all in training camp, I would say this, dealing with y'all boys in training camp, bro, that was probably like a nightmare, bro. That was a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, I got Arik right here. I got Bose over here. I got Buck here. But I'm like, everybody, the rotation of the D-line is just crazy. And you got to deal with the backers. I'm like, bro. Yeah, it was y'all.
A young Greenlaw.
Young Greenlaw.
Young Fred.
Just wanting to fight everybody all the time. Young Mike Tyson.
Nah, we definitely iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
We definitely had a good team that year. But Yeah, that performance by you, one of the most special performances in NFL history.
Yeah.
Definitely in Niners history, and like you said, catapulted your career. Um, and you become the guy,
Yeah.
really. After that, and you had a few more years in San Fran. We had a rough year the next year.
COVID. That was COVID year.
COVID year. You
Yeah.
dealt with injuries, adversity, and then you come back home to Florida.
Yeah.
And signed to the Dolphins, man. How was that for your career and that next stage of your life?
Yeah, nah. It's like honestly, it's definitely humbling. Just being back here in the state of Florida, being back, in South Florida, touching grass in Florida, all that I miss that, these past couple of years. It's different when you're on a team and then you go and play, wherever you came from, and then having to fly back to, the team you're signed with. But to be able to play here, it's definitely special. I watched the Dolphins growing up. My first ever NFL game was a Dolphin game. Me and my grandfather took his van down to South Florida, and I got to watch Ricky Williams play. A guy that I idolized when I was younger. So it was pretty cool, man, just to see the whole experience, and then finally being in that stadium and putting on the uniform is like so surreal.
So you come to Miami, and it's a second stage of your career, and it ends up being better than all your previous stops.
Yeah.
You're playing amazing. The team is doing a lot better.
Yeah.
In this past year, you have a career year, Pro Bowl season.
Yeah.
Franchise record for touchdowns with 21.
Yeah.
And franchise record for rushing touchdowns with 18.
This guy knows his stats.
Passing. There's a lot of great running backs that have played for the Dolphins. Like you mentioned, Ricky Williams, Reggie Bush.
Larry Zonka.
But you hold that record.
Yeah.
For the Dolphins after being cut by them years ago.
Yeah.
They could have had you back then.
They could have had me back then. But obviously something happened, and it wasn't under my control. It was, I was just a young sprout too. I was just trying to find my way in the league, and I tell people, I was here back in 15, and people are like, what, you were?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is my second stint here.
I will go out on a limb and say that any franchise record holders that they hadn't previously been cut by that team.
Yeah.
I will go out on a limb and say that you would be hard to find. You might be the only one that's been cut by a team and then come back and set a franchise record. That's got to be like unheard of.
Yeah, we got to check that one.
I don't see how anyone else could have done that. Get cut by a team and then come back and set their franchise record.
I mean,
I think that'd be impossible.
Well, I think that actually might have happened. Mark Ingram
got cut by who?
Saints.
Really?
And then came back and actually got the franchise record for most rushing yards.
Okay. Yeah, that's so rare.
Well, I don't know if he got cut, but he didn't get signed. And then he went to the Ravens, and then he came back to the Saints and got the rushing record.
That's interesting. Oh, so he was he could have been like a free agent, and they didn't sign him back?
Yeah. One or the other. I don't think he got cut, but yeah.
That's crazy. So maybe he was a free agent.
It's a select few though.
So, but then he came back with the Saints.
Yeah, but I got cut. And then came back.
And we're gone for years.
Yeah. And then came back and did that.
No, that's amazing. So talk to me about this season, how special it was for you. Where was your mindset at? I mean, how'd you get that done?
Yeah, so funny story. I signed with Miami in 22. And then I had one of my best years. I had like over 1,500 total yards, both passing and rushing. I had like 800, and then like however much, and receiving like 4 or 5, whatever. I'm a little off on math, but and then I had like 4 or 5 touchdowns. So I felt like that was a pretty solid year coming back from the knee injury that I had with the Niners. the damaged cartilage and all that stuff.
You stayed on your feet all year,
Yeah,
played.
I stayed healthy. I missed the last game of the season because I played the last game of the season and I broke my thumb against the Jets. And that was a game we had to win in order to get to the playoffs. And so I felt like I was giving it my all in that game and ended up breaking my thumb and missing the playoff game against the Bills. And so the following year, that same year, I had a conversation. I never forget. I had a conversation with one of my good friends, Tony. He stays down here in Miami. And one night we were gaming. It was like Thanksgiving. Yeah, around Thanksgiving time. We were gaming, and I made a statement like, I'm gonna be all pro next year. Like, that's my goal. I'm gonna be all pro. And I'm gonna do some unbelievable things. Well, the following year, I'm going crazy. I'm, having all these touchdowns. I'm scoring. I'm, having all these yards. And around Thanksgiving time,
surfing in the end zone,
doing my celebration. Yeah. So I have a conversation with him again. He's like, Raheem, you probably don't remember, but last Thanksgiving at this same time, we were on the game and you said how you were going to be an all-pro. And he's like, bro, you're really doing that right now. And so like the beginning of the year, as soon as I made that statement, my first year with the Dolphins, I put on my phone as like my screensaver, just all pro in black. It was in all black and then white lettering. And every morning, bro, I would wake up and that was my first thing that I would see. Like, and then kiss my wife and tell her I love her. And, kids will still be asleep at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And that was the only thing that was on my mind last year was being all pro. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get it because, Christian got it, but I felt like I could at least make second team all pro.
When you shoot for the moon, though, definitely we're right there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I made Pro Bowl, first Pro Bowl in 9 years, which is unheard of, which is kind of crazy, but I finally made it. I felt like I could have made it in special teams. I definitely could have made it in special teams.
For sure. After all those years?
But unfortunate things happen. Like I have a MCL, a grade 2 MCL tear at the end of the year. And so that brings down the voting. You're out for the rest of the season. You're kind of null and voided at that point in the vote process. And then, it just felt like it was somebody else's turn to be a Pro Bowler or a special team. So it was coming. I just had to stay grounded. And I felt like this past season was, that season for me. I needed that. I'm not satisfied, of course. I always want to one up everything that I'd possibly, I do. But we'll see, man. I'm excited for this upcoming season. I'm still healthy. I didn't have to have surgery this off season. And I'm taking care of my body the way I need to. And yeah, we'll see, man. It's been a good ride so far.
Nah, this year you definitely stamp yourself, bro. In history, obviously, setting records, and getting that respect around the league as, one of the top backs. And, I'm sure everyone who plays Madden is very happy.
Oh man, you know how many people come up to me and say that? They're like, bro, I got you actually, on my team.
I was playing Madden like a little. I haven't played Madden. I haven't played video games in years, but I was playing a little bit around like 2020.
Yeah.
And you like after your 19th season, bro, you were so cold on Madden, bro. Like
I still get people to say that. It was crazy. Day. People are saying that to this day, bro. They're like, man, I got you on Madden, bro. Like, man, you just rushed for like 300-something yards. I'm like, you running with me like that?
You going crazy like that?
I might cause an injury on that game.
I wish that was real life.
Yeah, right. But
that's what's up. Dolphins, man, you guys had amazing 2 seasons, playoffs.
Yeah.
You play with a bunch of great players.
Yeah.
A bunch of fast players. You talk about state of Florida is fast in natives and fast in the NFL too.
Yeah.
So you got Waddle and Tyreek, obviously. So who's really the fastest out of you guys?
Man, you looking at them. I ain't gonna sway either. That's me. I'm taking that title.
You the fastest?
Yeah, I'm the fastest.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys argue about that a lot?
Oh, we argue all the time. We argue all the time.
What's you guys like basis of the argument? Like what y'all base it on?
Everybody goes back off a track. Yeah, I'm like, I got that too. Like, yeah, I'm a 3-time Big Ten champ. I made national championship twice.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately I didn't get it, but I'm an All-American in track.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for y'all. Like, Waddle, I don't even think Waddle ran track in college. Reek ran track. I actually raced against Reek. Well, we were in different heats in New Mexico, in Albuquerque for the indoor and the 200. He was in like heat 2. I was in heat 4. So like he beat me in that time, but yeah, it was like, it was like whatever. I wasn't ready for that one. I wasn't ready for I really wasn't ready for any of the track meets because I felt like I'm just a big, like if you see track athletes, like they're a little bit like skinnier. Like,
felt like you're too big?
I felt like I was too big. Like I was carrying too much muscle. Like I was just like out there. Like I looked like a football player running track. Yeah.
Nah, so you guys based off track, you guys base it off of like
I think it's hometown too. Like I'm like, man, I'm from Florida. And then Reek's like, well, I'm from Georgia. Yeah. I'm like, Georgia's not really known for being fast. and then Waddle's like, oh, I'm from Texas. I'm like, all right. Yeah. Texas is known for being fast.
That's true too.
Yeah.
You guys base it off track. You guys base it off of how you guys look like together on the field. Like who looked fast on film.
Well, that's Reek. I ain't gonna lie. Man, this guy. I don't look fast though. Like I don't.
No, you run very smooth.
I'm a smooth runner.
Reek feet beat. So like,
bro, he's like I was talking to Jet McKinnon. When he played with him on the Chiefs, and he was like, "Hey, I'm telling you now, like Tyreek he's like a legit glitch." I'm like, "There's no way.
Yeah,
like there's no way." Man, we sign him. Well, we trade for him. And he gets on the team, bruh. I'm talking about firsthand. Like the first day, this man hit like a slant and go full, and like the way he ran it, bro, out of there. I'm like, oh yeah, nah, he a glitch. This man, bro, he catches the ball like he has his back turned against the defender. He catches the ball instantly. He's like already ready to do a double up move. I'm like, bro, how do you go from like having your back turned to like facing somebody up already to getting ready to do a double move, like to break somebody off and then take it to the house? Yeah. Nah, it makes no sense, bro.
He's crazy. Playing against him and seeing it in person is like,
yeah.
You know, like I played with D'Anthony. D'Anthony played with Tariq too.
Yeah.
And D'Anthony was crazy. But when he played with then Tariq came in, I was like, dang, he's different.
When Jet told me that he was a glitch, I got to witness it firsthand, bro. I'm like, nah, this man's a for sure glitch.
Nah, that's dope though. Y'all can have that friendly competition, and you guys both have a track background, so the comparisons are already going to be there. But y'all got an amazing team. Y'all expecting to have another great season.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going to be exciting to see this as you continue your career. I definitely want you to get that All-Pro next year, man.
I just got to beat Christian, it seemed like. It's just me and Christian. Bro, like throughout the season, I would text Christian. I'm like, bro, you need to slow down. Like we were like neck and neck on like yards and everything like that, touchdowns. And then I'm so happy that like okay, let me take that back because he was kind of hurt at the last game of the season where he didn't get the rushing the most touchdowns. So we ended up tying. I'm like, oh, yes. Thank you, Christian, for sparing me, bro. Thank you. But nah, it's honestly, man, it's like when you find people that are in the same position, it's more so like, bro, how'd you do this? Are you trying to pick up the aspect of their game? And he was doing the same thing with me. Like when we played the Chiefs and then we lost them in the playoffs. We were texting out when I was in the Super Bowl, and he was like, hey, you got any advice against this defense? You played against them. I'm like, hey, yeah, no, if so-and-so, keep his head straight, y'all be good. If you run this type of route and out of the backfield, I was just trying to give them all these nuances so that way it can help y'all win the game. So
yeah, I know you're having a friendly battle all season.
Yeah.
I remember you guys game were on before we were getting ready. before we getting ready to play. I think it's later in the season. Like y'all kind of like neck and neck.
Yeah.
And you like scored. We're like, we looked at Christian. He's like, he scored again, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So, but that's good, man. I think that breeds. It brings the best out of.
It does. It definitely
I think
does.
it brought more out of both of you guys this season.
Yeah.
Having someone who was like there, like pushing
Yeah.
you, like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, what do I gotta do this week?
It's funny because like he's on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah.
We're on like totally different time frames,
Yeah.
but like we were still texting each other. Like we were like right like down the street, like, and the way we were talking to each other, I would ask him like, "Hey, okay, you went up against this dude. Like, how'd you break his routes off? Like, what'd you do?" And he'd tell me, and then like I would do the same thing for him. So it was pretty cool to just finally, get somebody that was on the same page as you, mindset wise, because like. Being with Bobby T also helped. Like I know what Bobby T's thinking when it comes to Christian, and Christian would tell me like, "Hey, Bobby T already got on me about this route." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, because he got on me too when I was there." So, but yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And you can see eye to eye.
No, that's awesome
with the top guys in the league, because Christian's a top guy.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a top guy. He future Hall of Famer for real. Yeah,
no, for sure. So switching gears a little bit, I know family is very important to you, as it is to me. It's been amazing to see you grow your family, throughout these years. Talk to me about your family, man. Talk to me about your wife. You guys met in college. Your boys. Talk to me about fatherhood. And all and everything under that umbrella. Yeah,
no, fatherhood has been amazing. I got 3 young boys, Gunnar, Nico, and Miles, ages 4, 3, and 1. I had my youngest when my oldest was 2, so 3 under 3. And it's just been, man, they're like best friends. They're growing up to be best friends. They wrestle with each other. They play in the pool with each other. My youngest one is actually like becoming more of a bully now, because he's the youngest one. He's been taking so much crap from the older 2 that now he's standing his ground. It's pretty cool to see. I'm like, I knew he was gonna come back and
stand up for yourself.
Yeah, he's standing up for himself. So man, just watching them grow. My 2 oldest are in school. They love it. My middle child, he's just a sweetheart. I mean, all of them really are, but my middle child, he's just like, he's like that child that is just always learning, like no matter what. And the way he speaks in class, like his teachers would give us a report and they're like, Nico is doing unbelievable. Like he's asking questions. He's always asking questions. He's always talking, where like I see all the other kids are in the class and they're not really talking like how he is. Or maybe my son is just he just talks a lot. I don't know, because he's talking a lot at the house all the time. Yeah. But it's also like he's just learning. That's all it is. So watching them learn, man, and grow. My oldest, he's Gunner. He's writing his own name, first and last, and he's ABCs, and he can count all the way up to 50. And he's only 4, so like he's also a quick learner. And funny story, he wakes up out of bed. So he wakes up about like 7 o'clock, 7:30. And the first thing he's doing is putting on his outfit. Like I don't even have to tell him to go pick an outfit. He's coming down the stairs with his outfit on, jeans and all, button up shirt, collared shirt. I'm like, you can't wear that to school. You have to wear like the school issued shirt. Yeah. He's ready to go. Has his hat on. He's like a little man. He's like a teenager already. Yeah, man. I'm like,
man, I'm gonna choose my own outfit, man.
Yeah. He's like a teenager, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love it, man. Too. It's been crazy.
How's it for you? How's the experience with your kids, man?
I love it, man. I'm a girl dad, so it's been different for me.
Yeah.
Having daughters, and like it brings out I feel like a different side of me.
See, that's what I want too. My wife's like, do you want, like, should we try for a 4th? I'm like, if it's guaranteeing that we getting a daughter, like I would love that. Like because I got the 3 boys, I got to give up my crown. Like I'm no longer the man of the house. Like I got to give it up. But like if I get a daughter, like you have the daughters, oh man, I feel like that's just she gonna take care of daddy. Like when you get older, like that's what I hear nowadays. It's like when your daughters get older and you get older, as time goes on, they gonna look out for you. I can't say the same about my boys. I can't say the same.
We don't know how they're gonna be.
Yeah, nah.
But nah, my daughters are great, man. They've been growing and learning so much too. It's just crazy to see them, evolve and become little people.
Yeah.
And have personality. And
Yeah.
they are so sweet, man. Just I can tell they're gonna take care of me because they're already trying to do the kissing on my owies and trying to always give me hugs and make sure that I'm okay. So
I will say like the most important, like I guess the proudest moment for me, and you might relate to this, is like after a strenuous day of work, right? You come home and you open that door and like they instantly run to you. Like when my boys run to me, bro, it gives me so much like satisfaction. Like I'm like, wow, like life is really worth it. You know, and when I walk through the door, it's like all you hear is the daddy chants, like that, bro. It just makes me so happy. Like I'm like, man, this is why I'm doing it.
It's the best feeling in the world, man.
Yeah.
You know, all the sacrifice to create a better life for your family. You know, it's all worth it when you see that smile on their faces.
100%.
No, it's amazing. So we'll finish up with a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
What's been your favorite NFL moment?
My favorite NFL moment? I got plenty of them right now. Obviously the NFC Championship game and making it to a Super Bowl. You know, scoring in the Super Bowl. I think that was like, you know, a very proud moment of mine, especially down in Hard Rock. You know, a stadium in Florida, a stadium I used to go to when I was a young kid to watch the Hurricanes and, you know, watch the Dolphins play, and being a part of like, you know, the Nike Combine and all that stuff hosted there. So that was a surreal moment, you know, playing in a Super Bowl in Miami. And then these records, I feel like that's also another big thing.
Setting records, man.
Yeah, setting records. So just trying to do something that hasn't been done, especially for an undrafted guy. I feel like that's who I've become now, and that's the role that I like to play. So yeah,
from undrafted to setting records.
Yeah,
setting the standard for your franchise, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So let's go top 5. Let's do top 5 running backs. Who do you like? Who do you respect their game? Who's your top 5 running backs in the league?
Top 5 running backs in the league right now. I would say Christian. I like his game a lot. I feel like we both have similar games. I like his game a lot. He was hurt last year, but I still feel like he's a dominant force. Chubb, Nick Chubb. I think he's
Nick Chubb's a great back.
He's a thoroughbred when it comes to the position. I feel like he's a dominant player when he gets the ball in his hands. He's electrifying. Let's see. I like Breece Hall. I think he's coming up, making his way. He's doing an unbelievable job over there at the Jets. He's definitely in the top 5 for me. I would put myself, but I do like Derrick Henry. I like how he's setting the standard of, you know, being a workhorse. That hasn't been done in a while.
Yeah,
you know.
He's a throwback running back.
Yeah,
you know?
Throwback running back.
Eddie George.
Yeah,
guys used to get 30.
Yeah, 30-something touches a game.
Touches a game.
Yep.
You know, take it out on the defense, make them tackle them.
Yeah, and then let's see, my last running back. I mean, it's a lot of good ones, but I feel like a younger guy that's already made his splash. I feel like he's a good back is Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs. I feel like he's nice. He's nice. But I also could say the same thing about Montgomery too.
Yeah.
You know, both of them, that duo right there in Detroit. I mean, y'all played them. They were holding it down.
Yeah, they complement each other well.
Yeah.
Opens up the playbook when you have a running back like both of them.
Yeah.
Jahmyr can do the, a lot of the gadgety stuff, the perimeter stuff, and then Montgomery can, be between the tackles, so
Yeah.
open up the playbook.
Yeah, so I feel like Gibbs is definitely in the top for me too. So I
Mhm.
like his game. I like how he plays. He's like I said, I feel like he's similar to me.
Mhm.
And I feel like he's using his speed at the right time.
What about some defenders who got your respect? Like like, all right, when I'm playing against them, I
You
gotta
gotta get right.
tighten up a little tighter.
Now I will say Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Fred is definitely Fred Warner. He's a good player. I like him. I've watched the process. I watched, when he came in as a rookie to where he's at now, and it's nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's one heck of a player. He's always flying around the ball, and he's been a staple of the defense for quite some time. Another defender. CJ Mosley. I feel like he's a savvy vet.
Mm-hmm.
He's super savvy. He's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's his name? Bolton from the Chiefs.
Nick Bolton, I think.
Yeah,
from Chiefs.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah.
I like him. He flies around the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Nick Bolton's a good player.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, I like it's like linebackers and safeties for me. That's so
that's what you got to deal with.
Yeah, that's what I got to deal with most of the time. Safety, I like Javon Holland.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's a top notch safety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. Yeah. Now I'm gonna switch gears. D-line. There's a lot of y'all boys, man. I gotta run away from all of y'all too. Now D-line. I mean, you guys over in San Fran, y'all was yeah. I played against y'all the first year with Miami, and I'm like, bruh, we're gonna have a problem. And we did have a problem against y'all. So I'll say it could be you, Nick, all y'all boys.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's a lot of respect, man.
Yeah. But I will say this, bro. I appreciate you having me on the show. And I don't know if the segment's done, but this is me speaking, in terms of giving you your kudos, because it's an honor to just see you grow. I know that we both are damn near the same age. We're going into year 10 and everything, but I just want to give you your kudos, bro, because you're doing unbelievable things both on and off the field. And you're setting a standard, and you're a huge role model. Whether you know it or not, you were a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, and you've been that for several years, and it's about time for you to get that award, because the way you just handle business, bro, in the community and giving back, you definitely deserved it, and you had my vote, this past year especially. So
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Like I said,
the respect is mutual, man. It's been amazing to watch. You grow throughout your career. And, I'm so proud and happy that you're getting that recognition that you deserve. I seen it up close and personal, and the resiliency that you have showed throughout your career and where you're at now, and being able to etch your name in history and get that respect around the league, man. It's been amazing to watch and see. I'm proud from afar, just like, dang, like, man, this is crazy that you've been able to go through all these different situations and come out on top, man.
You saw me at my lowest too. Like, when we first got together in 16, and then you saw what was going on and transpiring and throughout the years, and then
But you earned that, bro. Like, you earned those opportunities through your hard work and your sacrifice and everything you brought to the team. Like, they couldn't get rid of you. Like,
I made it hard.
You made it hard.
I made it hard.
You made it hard to get rid of you until you got your op on offense and were able to show like what you could do. Like, they had no choice. Like to keep you around, and then they had no choice but to give you your opportunity, and look what you did with it. So that's what I'm so proud
I appreciate
of you
that,
for,
bro.
man. Because a lot of people fold, man. A lot of people, man, this is too much, man. Like, like I gotta do all this. Like I'm a running back, like I should be.
I've always told myself, like, whatever opportunity I get, you could put me at D-line. I'm gonna try my best. I might not be the best for that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
That's just because of the heart that I have. I
Mhm.
think, like, I don't want to be denied. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to leave no stone unturned. Like, that's just my thing. I'm gonna give everything I got, regardless of position, regardless of where I'm at on the depth chart, regardless of how a coach sees me. I'm always respect the coach,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I feel like coaches need to respect who I am too as a player. So, that's one thing that separated me from a lot of different other guys is like, I'm gonna earn my respect. I already know that. You can have a new coach come in. I gotta earn my respect.
Mhm.
They have to, look at me and be like, oh no, this guy, he's really legit. Like, that's what I want. I'm not really here for all the fame and everything like that. I'm here to work and I want to get better. I tell everybody all the time, like, everybody else might want to be a Super Bowl champ. That's fine. Like, all pro, all those accolades, that's fine. I want to be a gold jacket.
Mhm.
That's what I want to be. Like, that's what my desire is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to win. Of course I want to win.
Mhm.
But I feel like to be edged in stone and have a bust
Mhm.
in Canton, that's the most important thing that you can have as a football player. That's when you are legit.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, there's legit players all the time that don't make it,
Mhm.
but there's only a select few that actually make it into that that enshrinement, and I want to
Yeah.
be one of them.
That's football heaven. That's what they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're playing football, that's what you should strive to be, is to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Let me tell you this quick story.
Mhm.
So, my wife's from Cleveland,
Mhm.
and every year we would drive to Nashville for 4th of July. That 4th of July, that's the time we're off, right? And so we'd have to pass through Canton. And, one thing that I've always done, and bro, this is probably like 5 or 6 years straight. One thing that I've always done was I would drive past Canton and I would just look at it and be like, I'm gonna be in there one day.
Mhm.
And like, I could have taken all the opportunity to stop, go inside. I'm like, no, the only time I want to go inside is when I'm in, like, my bus
When
is
I'm
in
in
there.
there.
Yeah. And so, like, that alone gave me the motivation to just keep going, like, no matter what. No, I'm not gonna stop. My wife will be like, you don't want to stop this year? She would just joke on the side. I'm like, baby, come on now. I'm not stopping. Like, I'm keep riding past this thing, and I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna keep. It's gonna be another year. I'm gonna put my best foot forward, and hey, if it helps bring me into that Canton, Ohio, then so be it. But
Mhm.
until then, I'm not going in. I can't do it. Like,
Mhm.
you could take. How they have like
Tours and
the
stuff?
tours, and they set up for players and everything.
Mhm.
Like, we can go in anytime we want. It's free of charge.
Mhm.
I'm never doing it until I'm actually in there. Like, and if it's after I'm gone, so be it.
Yeah.
I will never step foot in there until I'm actually in there. I feel like that's just who I am as a person. Like, I don't want to be in there until I actually make it. So
No, that's dope.
it's always motivation, bro. I feel like that's my motivation.
Relentlessly motivated.
Yeah.
That's
Check
your
out the
show.
podcast. That's my show. I'm gonna
Check
have
out-
you on, bro. We're gonna
Yeah.
get you on.
We're gonna switch.
Yeah.
Me asking me all the questions.
Yep.
I'm relentlessly motivated. And I appreciate you joining, man. This was a dope episode.
Yeah.
I like these because I always get to learn more about my friends too
Yeah,
throughout
absolutely.
the process. So I know this is going to be a show that people are going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And walk away with some knowledge, feeling inspired. So appreciate you checking out another episode of Third and Long with my special guest Raheem Mostert. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe button. More content coming for you guys. More solo episodes, more interviews. That's what you're getting here from Third and Long. So check you out on another episode, and see you soon.